Hello and welcome to all in this video lectures series on C programming. In this today's video session, we are going to talk about one of the most important concept associated with in C programming, and that is structure, right? So to better understand the need of structure, right, let us recall the concept of an array, right? So we can say when I'm going to talk about it hierarchy, there are certain limitations of this array, and to overcome basically these limitations, basically the concept of structure is implemented in C. So what are these limitations, right? Because of which we are going to switch from array to structure. Let us first discuss that. In short, now we are going to talk about what is a need of this structure, right? So when we talk about a simple concept of array, as we know that the array is basically the collection of elements having similar data type. Okay, similar in the sense, say the same data type, right? Means what? When I'm going to declare the array, the array is going to hold either only integer value or float value or this character value, right? Okay, when we are going to talk about the array can going to hold only an integer values or only a floating point value or only a character values here, right? Now let us consider we are dealing with, say, creating the database of a student, right? And suppose I want to store only the roll number of students, right? So the roll number of only say 5 students. So what I'm going to do, simple integer, the rn represents suppose the roll number variable and this one array that I'm going to declare, right? So this array whose name is rn is capable to store only the integer values here. Now suppose instead of dealing with this roll number, if I am going to deal with only, suppose I want to store only what we call the percentage of a student, right? So to store this percentage, we are going to, or we are supposed to declare one array, and suppose that is float per, say for 5 students I'm going to declare here as a 5. Means what? Now this per array is going to hold only the floating point values as shown here, right? Now suppose again my mindset has been changed and I'm interested only to store the name of a student, right? To store only the name. So what we are supposed to do, I'm going to, or that consider the name is only a one alphabet name, right? So for that I'm going to declare one, say character x of 5. Okay, so suppose nm, character nm of 5 means this one array here, right? Now so here when I am interested only in integer values, I am going to declare one integer array. If I am interested only in a floating point value, I am going to declare the float array with the data type as a float. And if I am interested only in a alphabets, right, I am going to declare a character. Okay, so now let us consider I want to club all these entities together. Means I want to store a database of a student. Okay, and that database is going to store suppose the name of student, then his roll number and the name, the percentage of a student, right? All these three quantities, or I can say entities, that I am going to club together, right? So in that case what I am supposed to do, I have to declare one integer array, one floating point array and one character array. Why? Because here we can't store the data with the different data types in a same array, right? So in short, in order to tackle this situation, the three arrays I am supposed to declare, which is a tedious job, right? So to overcome this, what we are going to do, we are going to come up with a concept, and that concept is called as a concept of structure. So the limitations of array, what is the limitation of an array? We can't store elements with different data type in one array. Okay, we can't store the elements with different, I will say here as a data type in one array. And to overcome this, what we are going to do, we are going to deal with the concept of structure. So let us see what is structure. So structure, as its name suggests, right, it is a collection of elements with different data type. This is the most important one, and this is a basic property of my structure, right? So when I'm going to talk about a structure, right, what it says, structure is a collection of elements with a different data type. So in short, what it indicates, a structure is capable to handle integer value, float value, or the character values together. This is the most important one, right, which is exactly opposite to that of what, array. In one array I can store only either integer value, as just discussed, either float value, or either only the character value. But this is not true in case of structure, right? So what is that, together all it is going to club all these things or in these entities. Okay, right. For example, I can store the name of student. Suppose XYZ, this is the name of the student. Suppose his roll number is 25 and his percentage is suppose 81.82, like this. So all these entities together I can club inside this structure. So when I'm going to talk about XYZ, it holds the character data type. For 25, it holds the integer data type, and for this 82.80 81.82, it is going to hold the floating point value. So all these entities we can club together under a single heading, and it is called as a structure, which is say one of the most important or the striking feature of the structure. So what structure indicate, or what is structure? The structure is basically the collection of elements, sorry for this, the structure is basically the collection of elements with a different data types, right? So it is capable to store the heterogeneous data. So heterogeneous data means what? Elements or the data elements having this different data type, right? When I'm going to talk about an array, the array is capable to store only the homogeneous data. Means all the data or the elements possess the same data type. But in case of structure, these elements are going to possess what, the different data type there, right? So the data of different types can be grouped together under a single name using structure, right? So here, whatever the data elements which are present in one structure, these are basically termed as a members, right? So what is that? Data element means what? The variables, right? So the variables that we are going to declare in structure, these are called as a member, right? Suppose in structure I am going to declare int x. So what I am going to say, x is a member of structure. Suppose inside a structure I am going to declare float per. So I am going to say what, the per, this variable is a member of a structure, right? So in this thing, in this way the things are going to work in case of structure. So let us see what is that, defining, how to define the structure. So definition of a structure creates a template or format that describes the characteristics of member. Means it tells, right, which kind of data is clubbed together. And the syntax is as like this. First, struct, followed with this name of structure, then data type member 1, data type member 2, data type member 3, member 4, up to member n, right? Data type member 1 means what? The number of variables. This I can say the variables that I am going to declare here. Okay, so this is what, these are the variables. So these are the variables that we are going to declare inside a structure, and this is called as what, the member of structure. And that's why it is mentioned like the data type member 1. Say I am going to say integer x, or here I am going to define float y. So what is that? The x is one member having the data type as an integer, y is second member having the data type as what, your float here, right? So in this way, simple, the things are going to work or going to operate in case of your structure, right? So here, if you focus, the most important thing, the first which is mentioned in a red color, and what is that? The struct, right? So what is that? The struct is basically a keyword, and this keyword is used to tell the compiler that the structure is being defined. and the structure variable which is mentioned here, right? So this structure variable is used to access the structure members. Okay, so this is about how to define the structure, the syntax of a structure. Simple, the keyword struct, then we are supposed to give a name to the structure, followed with declare the variables inside the structure, and at the end one structure variable. And with the help of this structure variable we are going to access the elements which are present into structure, right? So as just discussed, this is the syntax, right? So let us discuss how to declare one simple structure, right? So define a structure to create a student database. It should handle the name of student, roll number and percentage. So let us see how to declare the same. So which entities we are supposed to do, right? Inside the structure, or we have to create one database, right? And for that we are going to handle the name of single student, the roll number of a single student and the percentage of the student, right? So first, when I'm going to equate it, so first of all, the first statement is what? This is a struct, right? As per the syntax. So first I'm going to make use of this keyword. So what is my keyword? The keyword struct is there. Then the name of structure. I'm going to declare the name of structure as a student. You can define any name, right? Suppose I want to declare this as a etc or say TEI or say programming. Apart from any keyword, you can use any word here as a name of what your structure, right? After that, what is there? After that, I am there with what? This curly bracket. So now I'm going to define this curly bracket here, right? So once I'm going to define the curly bracket, then I'm going to focus on the entities that I'm going to handle, right? So which are my entity? The name of student, his roll number and the percentage, right? So in order to deal with the roll number, I'm going to declare one string that is with the character nm represent the name of student concern, right? So the name of student is handled by nm, right? Then for roll number I'm going to declare the rn. The rn is going to handle the roll number associated with the student. And at last, to deal with this percentage, I'm going to declare the float variable. So it is associated with what? Your percentage, right? And after that, just close this bracket. And then the structure variable, I'm going to declare the structure variable here as a s, right? So here, this is a way by which we are going to declare the structure. So what will happen, as just say in the previous what we call slide, we have used one word. What the structure is going to do? The structure is simply going to create one template. So here what will happen, when I'm going to declare this entire structure, the name student, right? And inside this name student, first the variable nm is declared, which is having the capability to store the 20 alphabets together, then one rn, and then this float, okay? And this entire structure is now clubbed together with the name as what? Student. So now this entire representation is shown or represented by student. And in order to access it, access means when you want to assign any value or you want to say display its value, right? So in that case the s is used for that. Now to deal with how exactly it is used and all, we will consider one example. So just try to understand how to declare first the structure, right? So at this instant, as I am interested only in one student, so I have used only one variable, structure variable. If you are there with a multiple variable, the number of structure variables that we are going to increase out here, right? So now let us discuss one simple program. Okay, so consider this program statement. Using structure, create student database. It should handle the name of student, roll number, percentage. Write a program to assign and display the value associated with the structure. Discuss how to deal with this. Okay, we have to write a program in which we are supposed to create one structure. In that, we are going to store the name of student, his roll number and percentage. Just assign name, roll number, percentage, and whatever values that we had assigned, simple, we have to display, right? So for that, let's start. So as per the syntax, first, just wait for a moment, let me write the entire code properly, right? So first of all, I am going to put here the header files. Okay, so as we are going to prefer on the code blocks, so hash include stdio.h, then hash include stdlib.h. Okay, now as per the syntax, I am going to declare the structure. So first I am going to use the keyword struct followed with the name of structure. Suppose I am going to give the name of structure as a student itself, right? So now I am going to declare this student, and inside it to hold the name, say character nm of 10 means up to 10 characters we can club together. To deal with roll number, integer rn, and for percentage say float per. And after this, here I am going to declare one structure variable, right? So once I finished out it, now I am going to write a main function where I am going to access it, right? So now integer main, okay, and inside it simple printf enter name of student, right? Then for percentage enter, sorry, roll number of student, and then simple printf enter percentage of student. Okay. So these are the what we call the preliminary display things I am going to put out here. Now the most important one, how to assign a name. Now this is a what we call the, here comes the use of your this structure variable. So simple, what is happening here? The first nm variable is created, rn variable is created, and per variable is created, and these entire variables are grouped together with the name as a student. So this is a template in short has been created here. But now when you are going to assign a value, right? So the values are always assigned with the help of your structure variable. And in our case, we return the structure variable as s. Now how exactly it is used? So just pay attention. Simple scanf. As first I am going to assign a name which is nothing but a string. I am going to put here %s. This is important. %s, right? So escape sequence used for what? Sorry, conversion specifier used to accept the string here. Then comma here. The name of structure. Okay, to avoid confusion, suppose s1 is my the structure name, so structure variable. I have declared the s1 as my structure variable. Then how I am going to write here? s1 dot nm. Just try to get this. To deal with this roll number of a student, scanf %d ampersand s1 dot nm. Sorry, not nm now, it's a rn because the roll number is represented by variable rn here. S1 dot rn. And the third one, to deal with the percentage, simple scanf %d ampersand s1 dot per. Okay, sorry, it should be %f because it's a floating point. Now just try to get this. Here, what simple it indicate when I am going to talk about, right? Here, this is the most important one I can say. The way in which we are going to make use of this structure variable, right? So when the compiler is going to execute the code, right? So what it is going to do, simple, no doubt, when the keyword struct is used here, right? It came to know that this entire declaration is what you are the structure declaration. And once it is going to assign a value, it first going to take a reference of the structure variable. So s1.nm means what? This specific variable is accessed. s1.rn, this variable is accessed, and s1.per, this variable is accessed. So this is the way by which we are going to access the members of your structure, right? The variable which are declared into a structure are accessed with the help of this structure variable, right? And now to print this value, how we are going to again define over here? Simple print f. Suppose I am going to declare the name of student, then %s comma s1 dot nm. You want to print also, okay? For roll number, say again in optimized or in detail, say %d comma s1 dot rn, and the last print f %f comma s1 dot per. Okay, so in this way. So this is what it is, a generalized code that we had, that just now I have written, right? So we are going to see its execution again in the code blocks. So just try to get it. how the way in which we are dealing with what we are dealing with this structure. So this is what your structure variable, that is the most important one, S1, that we are using. Here again the S1, here again the S1, means this structure variable is always used in order to access the elements which are present into your structure, right? So let us now see this with one simple code. Okay, so let us consider this simple code here, right? So just now seeing what we are going to do here, I am going to declare this structure. So the keyword struct is used here, right? So struct student. So what happening? One structure is created, and inside this structure I am going to declare three variable. The nm to hold the name, so it is having the data type as a character, rn to hold the roll number, and per for this floating point, that is for percentage, right? And here the s is what? S is my simple structure variable, and with the help of this structure variable I am going to assign a values there, right? So first I am going to display a simple message. What is my message? I am going to declare that, say printf enter the name of student. And now just focus on this, the way in which we accessed this variable nm, right? How we access that? We access that with the help of this s. This s is nothing but what your structure variable. So with the help of the structure variable s dot nm, let me clear it out so that you will properly visualize this dot here, just over here, right? So s dot nm, s dot nm in the sense the s is a structure variable and nm is what the name of the student, right? Then again for roll number I am using here s dot rn. What is s? S is a structure variable, rn is a element, that is a member of a structure. And again for percentage s dot per, right? And then whatever these values are there in the same sequence I am going to print this value on the output screen, right? So in this way we can write the program and we can cross check. So let us cross check the same code in code blocks here, right? So now I'm going to run it out. So first it is asking for the name of student. Suppose I'm going to enter the name of student as A, B, C, D, E. Roll number, suppose I'm going to enter the roll number as 56 and percentage, say 81.81. So what we did here, simple. The first name having the data type as character, roll number having data type as what we call as a integer, and for float the data type is what? Floating. The floating point, for floating point value it's a float. Okay, fine. So when I'm going to execute it, I'm getting this as a output. So ABCD 56 and 81.82. So whatever the different heterogeneous data that we had accessed, the same data now we are going to display, right? So this is about the structure. Simple. When I'm going to summarize the discussion on a structure, right? So what the structure is going to do? The structure is going to hold variables having a different data type, means it is capable to hold the values having the different types there, integer, float, character clubbed together or any combination, right? And in order to access the elements that is the members of a structure, we have to use one variable, and that variable is called as a structure variable. Okay, that's it for this discussion. Thank you.